What happened to Beowulf and Grendel's mother? Well, let's find out. After these words, the Prince of the Weather Gates was impatiently to be away and plunged suddenly. Without more ado, he dived into the heaving depths of the lake. It was the best part of the day before he could see the bottom. Efter den värde geteleod efter med elne närmast ansvarig. Bithan völde brem willem offeng hilde rinke davas skilderdejest thethone grundvon ogyan netti. Quickly, the one who haunted those waters, who had scavenged and gone her gluttonous rounds for the 100 seasons since to human. Sånne that on funde se de fulla begång höra gefe behålla hunde misera grämmon grädig. That där kumenesum. Observing her outlandish lair from above. Alvita ufan kunode. So she lunged and clutched and managed to catch him in her brutal grip. But his body, from all that, remained unscathed. The mesh of his chainmail saved him on the outside. Her savage talons failed to rip the web of his war shirt. Then, once she touched the bottom, the wolfish swimmer carried the ring-mailed prince to her court so that all his courage he could never use. The weapons he carried and a bewildering horde came to him from the depths, droves of sea beasts, who attacked with tusk and tore at his chainmail in a ghastly onslaught. The gallant man could see he had entered some hellish turnhole, and yet the water did not work against him because the hull roofing held off the force of the current. Then he saw firelight, a gleam and flare-up, a glimmer of brightness. Ratho genas ring gifeng atolan kolonum no dir ar en geskod halan like ring utan im biar. Dat heoton fjört hom trufon ne mitte lokene lothe sir kan lathan Pinkrum Bartod seo Beowulf Da heoto potmekom Ringa thengel Toho sno Swa he nemite No he das modig was Wartna gewilden ak hinne wundra das bella. Swinkte on Sunday se dior morning. Hilde tuksam sair kan brek eton ag lekan da se eor onget da he in nith sele nat fuil kom vas dar him ne water wete net skerthe ne him of for rofsele hreinan ne mette var grippe fullast fier leot gesejach blanke leor bright shine ongiat da se goda grund wergene mer wif Bittig manig rastporig, helig bride. Here observe the Swamp Thing of the Hell, a Tarnhag in all her terrible strength. Hon sveg det oftea. Then heaved his war sword and swung his arm, and the decorated blade came down, ringing and singing on her head. But he soon found his battle torch extinguished. The shining blade refused to bite. It spared her and failed the man in his need. It had gone through many hand-to-hand fights, had hewed the armor and helmets of the Doom, but here at last, the fabulous powers of that heirloom had failed. Dat hier on Heffalang Ringbal Agol Grede Guthleoth da segist offand dat se biado lioma pitanulde audres gethan ag seo edgist wak deoden at derpe do lode arpele hon gemota hen of gesker vages vier regel da was formas de ormade dat his storm alec. Hygelac's kinsman kept thinking about his name and fame. He never lost heart. Then in a fury he flung his sword away. That keen inlaid worm-looped patterned steel was hurled to the ground. He would have to rely on the might of his arm. So must a man do who intends to gain enduring glory in combat. Life doesn't cost him a thought. When the Prince of Wardgates, warming to his fight with Grendel's mother, gripped her shoulder and laid about him in battle frenzy. Efter wast anared nalast elneslet merthra gem ned meg helakas. Wirta wundun mal ratum gebunden ere orata dat hit on erothan leo. Sit on still edge strenge getruvulde mund grethe magnenes svashil mandon. Thon he at guthe gegan denketh långsunne oft da im his lift kerath gefäng tha be exale nallas fort fethe mer guth geta leo de grendels moda bregt da bidwe hier da he gebolgen was for land that he'll on the flit geber. He pitched the killer opponent on the floor, but she quickly arose and retaliated, grappled him tightly in her grim embrace. The sure-footed fighter felt daunted. The strongest of warriors stumbled and fell. So she pounced upon him and pulled out a broad, whetted knife. Now she would avenge her only child, but the mesh of the chainmail on Beowulf's shoulders shielded his life. Turn the edge of the tip of the blade, so the edge Theo would have surely perished, and the gates lost their warrior under the wide earth had the long links and locks of his war gear not helped to save him. Holy God decided the victory. It was easy for the Lord, the ruler of heaven, to redress the balance once Beowulf got back on his feet. Björgenthan Dateoan flet bega heo him eft harath the anlian forgel grimmen grafpum on him tog genus thing of the wergmod with genus strength. Bertre kempa patheon filower of sat da dones elegist on here sax getea. Brad brung edge will de here bearn warakan angan erfan him on exale lag preost et broden that gebra feore with odan wedge edge ingand forestod. Rafte that visor da hinno edge trores under grum greta kemtra. Nemme him hiorta bern helfe ge fremede hernet herde on halle god. Gel wolde sigsoga with the dreiten horodera reden. Hittan right gesker Delicate sitan ge efterstånd. Gesagta honom svär om sig elden ber eldesvår eotennisk. Ejum daitik beigene wermun dat wast wap na sist. Dein Beowulf. Wunderbar.